As a founder, what are some critical considerations when entering the Saudi market? You started, I think, in Korea, correct?
Yes.
So, and I think you guys around Series C, if I'm not mistaken?
D stage.
D
Yes.
stage, okay. So when you start thinking about expanding globally, what are elements you consider before entering a specific country? And what made you come to the Saudi market?
So the most important part before even thinking of going to outside of the country that you started, I think is a product market fit. You have to know what kind of value propositions that your product is generating and how you're actually going to make money out of that. And what's more important after that is does your product actually have a global product market fit? So just to give you an example of H2O, uh, our value proposition is very clear. So in terms of the local hotels and like facilities, like within 6 months frame, we literally increase like 3x of the direct booking, lower 50% of the operating costs, increase revenue between check-in and check-out like 20%. And be, on the back of that, one of the reasons we were able to go global was actually creating a product that could penetrate anywhere without actually customizing that much. For example, hospitality industry, all hotels require this ERP solution called PMS. And for five-star hotels, it's actually a monopoly globally. It's actually monopoly by the company that most of you guys know, Oracle Hospitality. And H2O was able to be part of one of the 10 global partners of Oracle. So for example, if we were to continue to target, we kind of do, but if we were to focus more on the lower end properties, then we would have to connect with every single PMS in different countries. And individual lower end hotels per country basis have different standard of service, and they all speak different language.
No.
But for five-star hotel, they all use Oracle, they all have high standard of service because they're branded hotels, and they all speak English. So the problem that we're solving in Korea, Japan, Singapore is exactly the same problem that we're actually solving in this region. So in terms of Saudi, we're not only digitizing the overall, we're trying to help support the digital transformation of the tourism industry, but one really important aspect that we're bringing in, adding value, is bringing Asian outbound tourists to Saudi. So I actually mentioned to these guys like at the backstage, like China, Korea, Japan, 3 countries alone, the outbound tourists spend $300 billion a year.
Wow.
And this whole region, not just Saudi, but this whole region is only 0.01%. And because H2O as a B2B aggregator of not only the sales channels, but also the inventories, we could create an infrastructure, sales infrastructure, that could actually bring these outbound Asian tourists. Of course, there's going to be, we would need a trigger point,
Yeah.
which we are discussing with the government, but we need to create at the same time the back-end infrastructure. Once a trigger happens, it has to flow. So that's how we're approaching right now.
So, in short, you have to have your product ready for global scaling. What other factors are essential for you to enter? As you know, like different countries, they will create something called soft landing program. Means they will help you to land softly in the country. What are the key factors from your perspective that is needed or essential for you to enter a certain market?
So,
and what the elements that you looked for in particular, as you mentioned, like you need a trigger from, let's say, potential client from the government, for example, in Saudi. What are other elements are needed for you to consider a market to enter as essential?
definitely for us, because we are a tourism-related company, one of the most important part that we researched about is a pipeline of tour-related properties being built in Saudi Arabia. And it seemed that the investment that for bunch of not only the bunch of giga projects, but even for the mega projects as well, a lot of the investments were actually for the development of these tourism-related properties. So that was one of the main aspects that we saw, and we definitely saw markets not as big as like China or Japan yet, but we definitely saw an opportunity, not just 1 or 2 years, but we're 5 to 10 years or 15 years beyond, that the market will grow, and we always want to be in a market where the both company and the market can grow. So that was one of the most important part for us.
Great.